Hello guys, Colonel Ninny here.
The Douglas C-47 Skytrain first flew in 1941, and 80 years later, some 14 of them are still flying. On D-Day 1944, 850 C-47s dropped 50,000 paratroopers in France. Over 10,000 were built, of which 2,000 ended up in Russia on the Lend-Lease program. This is going to be a pretty basic video. I'll just show you some of the controls and systems you need to know to get flying the thing. It's a lovely machine to fly, and it's very simple. There's a standard throttle quadrant with throttles, props, and mixture. Mixture is set for rich for takeoff and lean for cruise. If you don't have a cockpit data card, see your aircraft specs. Like most aircraft, so you don't overheat your engines, there are two basic controls. The controls for these can be found by the co-pilot's right elbow. You'll need to pull back on the stick to find them. Next are the oil radiators, which should be open. And to taxi, you'll need the parking brake off and the tail wheel unlocked. This aircraft had a range of about 1,600 miles. Anytime you carry less than 50% of fuel, you can access the fuel gauges by using the default key. Don't forget to close the side window, which is the close canopy button. She'll get her tail up very quickly and be airborne in no time at all. Once airborne, get the gear up, throttles and props set, and that's it. Although flaps are not required for takeoff, use full flaps for landing. Max flap speed is 112 miles an hour. Approach at 80 miles an hour with gear and full flap. Add a little bit of power and she'll just kiss the ground with the three-point landing. I would say that this is probably the simplest aircraft for any new pilot to learn to fly in the game. One thing to keep in mind is that it is a big aircraft and it has long wings, and they tend to tangle with tents and other aircraft and buildings and revetments and things, so keep an eye out when you're taxiing. The next thing for us to understand is the roles that this aircraft can play in the game. It carries three types of loads. The first is cargo, which can be delivered to an airfield. The second are cargo containers, which can be paradropped in a zone. And the third, of course, is paratroopers. It's not a fast airplane, and you certainly don't want to overload it with extra fuel. And finally, you have no defensive capability at all, so you'll need fighter escort on some of these missions. Well, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
As always, if you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please like it or subscribe. Or if there's another topic you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment. Thank you, guys.